Hi, I'm Kira. Welcome back to the channel. Today's class is going to be a really feel-good vinyasa flow style class, incorporating a lot of dance-inspired and circular movement to get you out of your head and into your body. Speaking of your body, listen to your body, modify anything that you need to today. I want you to leave this class feeling energized, feeling really good. That is the goal. So in terms of equipment for today, a yoga mat, 2 blocks might be useful, but not necessary. And please subscribe to my channel. Comment on this video. Tell me what you liked, what you want to see more of. I would love to hear from you. And be sure to stick around to the end of this class because it's going to end with a really juicy hip opening cool down. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on the mat. Begin in a comfortable seat, maybe sitting up on a block, some arrangement in your seat where you can bring your spine tall. Rest your hands on your knees, and if it's comfortable, close your eyes or just soften your gaze. So before we start to move, beginning to check in with where we are. Bringing your awareness to your physical body. Just notice how you're feeling in this moment, your energy level, any areas of your body that are asking for some attention in your practice. And then note the mood of your mind, what you're showing up to your mat with. I'm not judging that at all, just taking note. And then guide your awareness to your breath. Without trying to change the breath, just observe whether it's deep or shallow in this moment, fast or slow. Notice where you experience the breath the most, if it's in your belly or your chest or somewhere else. And then draw the crown of your head in line with your tail. Feel your spine tall. Sitting bones rooting down, crown of the head reaching up. In a moment, we'll move into a breathwork technique called kumbhak, which means retention. A slight pausing and holding of the breath at the top of the inhale, bottom of the exhale. So the yogis understood that concentrating on the breath is simply a means to still the body and focus the mind. It's the fastest way in to meditation. Take a full breath up body, from the tip of your tailbone to the crown of your head. Smooth breath out through your nose. Again, inhale as if from the tip of the tail up to the crown of the head. Smooth breath out. Keep breathing in this way, even and deep. Feeling a full body softening. And then we'll move into the practice of kumbhak, retention. Take a deep inhale. Hold the breath at the top. Hold the breath there. Relax your shoulders, widen your cheeks. Keep holding the breath. And then smooth exhale out. Count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay empty. Hold your breath out. Press your low belly back towards your spine. And in that holding of your breath, feel your energy settle. When you need to breathe, full breath in, out body. Holding the breath at the top. Holding the breath. Feel that resonance right in the top of your head, almost like your head could float off your body. And then smooth exhale, count of 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath out. Press your low belly back to your spine. In that holding, feel the need to breathe build. And then when you need it, full breath comes in. Hold the breath at the top. Hold the breath. This will be our longest retention. Keep holding the breath. Relax the shoulders. Relax the muscles of the face. Keep holding the breath. And then smooth exhale out, 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 out. Next breath comes in when you need it. Smooth breath out, letting go of that retention, just letting the breath settle. Notice any sensations in the body, any tingles. And then slowly open your eyes, coming back into your space. And we'll move onto hands and knees, tabletop position. Headed into cat and cow. Bring your hands shoulder width distance, knees hips width, and tuck your toes so you begin to stretch your feet. Inhale, drop your belly down, gaze up for cow pose. Exhale, round your spine for cat. Inhale through the nose, cow. Exhale through the nose, cat. Keep this going, a few more rounds on your own. One full inhale for your cow, full exhale for your cat, beginning that process of syncing breath with movement, moving meditation in your yoga practice. And then find stillness. We'll create more movement in the spine by moving each part of the torso separately, starting with the chest. So we'll take circles with the torso leading from the chest. Drop your chest down, move it around to the right, circling from the chest. And this might feel a little strange, but give it a go. And just think, I'm leading from my chest. Go the other direction with your circles. Elbows bending, waking up the shoulder muscles. And then pause. Now leading from your rib cage. Drop your rib cage. Circle it around to the right, up and back down. Rib cage circles. And then switch the direction and just observe if this feels more or less natural than leading from the chest. Pause, hip circles, send the movement down to your hips. Circling the hips around, totally cool to close the eyes if that helps you drop deeper in. Reverse the direction of your circles. Waking up the hips. And then find stillness, flowing thread the needle. Inhale, reach your right arm up. On the exhale, thread your right arm under the left, but we'll keep it flowing. So inhale, reach back up. Exhale, thread, moving with breath. Twice more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread the needle all the way through. Bring your head down to the mat. About 3 breaths here in this gentle twist. That left hand could stay on the earth, or maybe you swim it around towards the front of the mat to open through your lats. Beautiful. And then release. Plant your right hand down. And then reach the left arm up. Just feel that space you've opened. Back to all fours. Let's switch sides. I think I messed up the hand. That's okay. So this time, left arm reaches up. Breathe in. Breath out. Thread the needle. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread. Couple more. Really breathe loud enough so you can hear the sound of your own breath. Thread the needle all the way through. Bring your head to the mat. Then swim that right arm forward if that felt good on the other side. 3 breaths. And just observe how this shape affects your breath. Each pose will alter the breath slightly. And our goal is always to find an even and steady breath in each shape. Plant your right hand down, lift the left arm up, feel that stretch. Left hand down, child's pose. Send your hips back to your heels. Balasana, forehead to the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shift forward back onto hands and knees. We'll move downstairs to the hips with lizard lunge rocks. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. And if your hips are a bit tight, you might use your blocks here. And then you'll just shift forward and back. As you shift back, lengthen your front leg, flex the toes towards your face. Taking this a few times, your own pace, your own rhythm, starting to lengthen the hamstrings, wake up the hips, the psoas muscle. And if you find a spot along these rocks that feels good, that is asking for some lingering, hang out there. Listen to those whispers from your body of what might feel good. Good, let's switch sides. Bringing the right foot back, left foot outside of left hand, lizard lunge. Shift forward, then shift back, lengthen front leg. Back and forth. And just observe if this side feels a little more open or tight than the other side. No judgment, just keeping your mind in the present by noticing what's true in your body. Best way to keep your mind on the mat. Good, let this go. Bring the left foot back and find your way to downward facing dog. Once you're there, pedal through your legs, explore. Check in with how this down dog is feeling. Perhaps it's the first one of the day, maybe the first one in a while. And then we'll walk the dog. Walk your feet to your hands. Forward fold, top of your mat. Find a ragdoll, grab for opposite elbows. Heavy, heavy head. And then release your hands. Very slowly, we'll roll up to stand, to mountain pose, Tadasana. Slower than you might want to move. Stacking the bones, mountain pose, Tadasana. At the top, be still. Just observe any urges to fidget or move, and instead, keep that energy for yourself. Breathe in. Breathe out. Settle in your space. Float the eyes open if they're closed. Reach the arms up and turn your heels and toes out, like a small star pose. Take a full breath in here, up body. Breath out, baby squat. So bend your knees, palms to prayer. Inhale back to star. Exhale, squat. Couple more. Getting the blood flowing in the legs. Taking up that heart rate a little bit. Next time you reach up, pause at the top and let your hands drizzle down by your sides. Heel toe your feet back underneath you or together. We'll come into 2 rounds of sun salutations. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale the arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Bend your knees, plant your hands, and step to plank. Move through your vinyasa flow. Maybe modifying your chaturanga or taking it full. Cobra or upward facing dog. Press back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here, spreading your fingers, rooting the hands. And for today, come onto the balls of your feet. Really drive your sitting bones up and back. Feel that length through your side body and your spine. And then let the heels drop. They don't have to touch the ground, but keep that space as you lower the heels. And then walk your dog. Walk your feet to your hands. At the top of your mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Right into the second round, forward fold, Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Plant the hands, step back to plank, your choice, chaturanga, or modified, cobra or up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Press back, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 breaths, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Moving on. Sweep your right leg high to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. Take some circles with your ankle, both directions. And then big step forward for warrior 1. Spin your back heel down to a 45-degree angle. Rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. So steady your gaze, bend that front knee a lot, and spread your toes. Get rooted in your feet so the lower body is steady before the upper body has some fun. So we'll find a circular movement. Inhale, lean back, cactus your arms, and then reach forward. That's the movement. Keep it going 4 times. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, reach forward. Moving with breath. And this is kind of dance inspired. There's no right or wrong way to do this. We'll meet in pyramid pose, Parsvattanasana. So bring your hands to your blocks or on either side of your front foot on the mat. You might hop your back foot forward as you lengthen your front leg and fold over it. 5 breaths here. So the feet are essentially in a short warrior 1 position. Keep that energy in the shape of your right hip pulling backwards in space, your left hip pulling forward in opposition. And relax your head and neck. It always helps. Tells the rest of the body it's okay to let go. 1 more inhale. And exhale. From here, a wide-legged forward fold. Crawl your hands to the left. Parallel your feet. Prasarita Padottanasana. For this first one, just shift side to side. Bend one knee and then the other. Shifting side to side. Lengthening through the legs. Pause in the center. Round your feet. And then rise up to stand. Sweep the arms up overhead. Okay, more dance-inspired movement. We'll call this the pendulum swing. It doesn't really have a name. So drop your back arm and take a side bend to the back of your yoga mat. Now soften your knees. Drop your body down through center. And then reach the opposite arm up. Side bend to the front of the mat. Soften the knees. Drop their center. Other arm reaches up. That's it. So we'll do about 4 rotations. And we'll meet with both arms up. And if you're like, what's going on? We're going to do that a few times. You'll get it. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Front of your mat. Spin your right toes forward. Open into your warrior 2. Take a peaceful warrior. Tip it back. Cartwheel the hands all the way down to the mat. Step to plank. Vinyasa, flow your way. Any variations you want. Express yourself in that vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And find balance on the left. Sweep your left leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Take some ankle circles. Wake up your joints. And then big step forward for warrior 1. Back heel spins down. Rise up, steady your gaze. And steady the lower body. You could even bring your hands to your hips to start, just to feel that you're grounded and stable in the lower body. Then float the arms up. We take those circle sweeps. So reach back, inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, reach forward. Few more, exploring a back bend shape. Making this your own. We meet in pyramid pose, Parsvattanasana. Hands to your blocks or the mat. Hop the back foot forward. Lengthen the front leg, fold. Parsvattanasana. 5 breaths here. So this one is a pretty intense hamstring stretch. Try to ground your back heel down. It often wants to pop off the mat. And think of every exhale melting your chest a little closer towards that front thigh, lengthening your spine forward and down. Moving into wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. So walk your hands to the right, parallel your feet. And the longer your legs are, the wider apart your stance will want to be. Bend one knee and then the other, shift side to side. Any organic movement here that feels good. Shaking your head, fluttering your lips. Good. And then pause in the center. Rise up to stand, sweep the arms up. Now I'm not facing you, but listen to my cues. We'll all be fine. So drop your front arm. Take a side bend to the front of your space. Soften your knees, drop through center. Reach the other arm up, side bend now, back of the mat. Soften the knees, drop through center. That's it, 2 more. If you feel like you're messing up, whatever. You're doing this in your living room. No one can see you. Both arms up. Let's meet. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, peaceful warrior, tip it back. Cartwheel the hands to the mat, step to plank. Vinyasa flow your way. Breath takes you from one shape to the next. Downward facing dog. Option here to take child's pose or hold your downward facing dog. 3 breaths together. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. If you're in child's pose, make your way back to downward facing dog. We'll repeat this sequence. A little faster we move and we add on. Sweep your right leg high. Step it forward, warrior 1. Spin your back heel down, rise up. I don't know why I left my hair down. It's a lot to manage, but we've got this. All right, circle sweeps. Tip back, cactus the arms, reach forward about 4 times. Root your feet so the upper body can be flexible, circular. We'll meet in pyramid pose. Hands find the blocks. Hop forward, lengthen front leg and fold. So you've been here before. Notice any small shifts. Is this the tiniest bit more easeful in your body? We'll use pyramid as a setup for half moon Ardha Chandrasana. I love to use a block in this shape. So you'll move the block in your right hand or your right hand forward and to the right of the standing leg as you lean forward and float your back leg up. Now keep your left hand on your hip to start. Get steady. Gaze down, flexing back foot like crazy. Maybe that left arm reaches up to the sky. Flex that foot. Any variations you like to play with are welcome. Maybe grabbing the ankle in Chapasana. Good, yogis. Our transition is warrior 2. Soften your standing leg. Whoo, drop back. Find your feet. Find your breath. Adding on peaceful warrior. Tip it back. Inhale. Exhale, side angle, Parshva 5 breaths. So the forearm could come to the thigh and side angle, or maybe your right hand finds a block on the inside of your right foot. Sweep your top arm over the ear with your palm down. Side body space, anchor your back heel down and spin your rib cage open. 1 more breath in. Breath out, wide-legged forward fold, parallel your feet. Prasarita Padottanasana. Now we're just gonna keep on moving, building heat. So rise up to stand, sweep the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, and drop your back arm. Take a side bend, back of the mat, soften the knees, drop through center. Other arm reaches up. Side bend to the front, soften the knees, drop through center. Take 2 more at this point. Really owning it, just making it yours. We'll meet with both arms up. Big inhale. Exhale, warrior 2, front of the mat. Inhale to peaceful, tip it back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat, step to plank. Vinyasa flow. Letting that heat build and cleanse anything that's not needed in your system. All right, final stretch here. Lift your left leg high. Inhale. Exhale, step forward, warrior 1. Back heel spins. Rise up, inhale, steady your gaze, and then come into those circle sweeps. About 4. Perhaps you're finding a little more expression in your spine. We'll meet in pyramid pose, hands to the blocks or to the mat. Hop the back foot forward and fold. Find your breath. So a steady breath is what we need when we come into a balance. That's where we're headed, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So move your left hand forward and to the left of standing leg. Bend your left leg. You lean forward, lift the back one up. Now right hand to the hip to start. Flex that back foot like you are kicking something behind you. A lot of energy in the leg. Maybe the right arm reaches up. If you want to challenge yourself, you could play with lifting your gaze towards your right side. Warrior two is your transition. Soften your standing leg, drop back. Woo! Find your feet. All right, I'm going to be facing away from you for this next part. This is kind of sad, but know I'm there. I'm with you. I'm rooting you on. Take a peaceful warrior tip back. Inhale. Exhale, side angle, Parsvakonasana. Modified or full 5 breaths. Float your top arm over your ear and spin your rib cage open. Side body stretch. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Prasarita, Padottanasana. Moving on. Rise up to stand, both arms up. Inhale. Drop your front arm. It's a side bend to the front of your mat. Soften the knees, drop through center. Other arm up. Side bend to the back, soften the knees. Come through center. 2 more. So dancey, so free. Both arms up, we meet. Inhale, exhale, warrior two, back to the front. Peaceful warrior, tip it back. Cartwheel the hands all the way down to the mat. Step to plank, ride your breath through your final flow. Actually, that's a lie. I think there's one more flow. That's okay. All right. From here, we're gonna walk the feet to the top of the mat. So walk your feet forward. Padahastasana. Bend your knees quite a bit. And if it's available to you to slide your hands underneath your feet, give that a try or just hang over your legs. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale, letting go. Slide your hands out. Plant the hands on the mat. And then step back to plank. Optional vinyasa. Back to downward facing dog. All right, let's wind things down with a pigeon. So if you have any issues with your knees, you're welcome to take a figure 4 instead of a pigeon pose. But if you'd like to take pigeon, you'll lift your right leg high, swing your right knee behind your right wrist as you pull the foot forward, and square off your hips. Slide your back toes back, feel your pelvis descend, and then fold over your bent leg. Now, pigeon can be a pretty intense hip opener. One really nice way to modify it, I've been working with lately, if this is too intense, is to place a block under your rib cage on the medium height and put the other block under your forehead just so that your full body weight is not on that hip. And then we'll settle here for about 8 breaths. And in the same way that you recalibrate a little bit when you're in your standing poses, there's a little recalibration in pigeon always. And noticing if you're leaning to the right or to the left, trying to come back to that center line. But once you do that recalibrating, try to find stillness here. And send your breath to anywhere that it's needed. Your breath has no form to it, so it can go wherever you need a bit of softening or breaking apart. Maybe that's to the hip or somewhere else. And then we'll slowly release the shape. Coming onto the hands, your transition is Janu Shirasana. So you'll swing your back leg around like a seated tree pose. So the right knee's bent, left leg is long. Bring the arms up, take an inhale. Exhale, hinge forward and fold any amount. Drop your chin to your chest. And some of you might be flopped over your leg. If this is a bit more intense, again, you could use a block here under the rib cage to control the level of depth. And then just settle in. Every exhale lets that chest melt a bit closer to your front thigh. Releasing and letting go. Slowly roll up. Stargazer pose. Tense your right fingertips behind you. And then you'll sweep your hips up, gaze up, reach up like you're gazing at a starry night. And then drop the hips down. Very nice. Cross your ankles, make your way back to downward facing dog, your way. You could pop in a vinyasa. I'm just gonna step back. And once you're back in your down dog, take some counter movement. That could look like pedals, but get the blood flowing back to the joints after that constriction of pigeon. And then we'll switch sides. Lift your left leg high, swing the left knee behind the left wrist. Square off the hips and let your pelvis descend. So sinking into this step by step, fold forward. If you liked that modification with the blocks, you could use that on this side. We'll be here for 8 breaths. So even though it's the same pose, it's a different side, a different situation. Stay present with yourself by observing what's true on this side. See if you can soften, not just in the obvious places like the hips, but in the shoulders too. Release your jaw. Relax the muscles around the eyes, encouraging a full body softening. And then slowly make your way back onto your hands. Janu Shirasana is your transition. So swing your back leg forward like a seated tree. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward and fold. Any amount of depth. Keep the sense of the heart pulling toward that front leg rather than rounding the spine. Lengthening your right hamstring, lengthening your spine. Everything yearning forward toward the front of your mat. And then we let it go. Rise back up, stargazer pose. Tent the left fingertips behind you. Sweep the hips up, gaze up, breathe into your front body. And then lower your hips down. Bend your knees, feet on the floor. Make your way onto your back. So we'll do one round of bridge pose, maybe a wheel if you want something more active, a supported bridge if you want something more therapeutic with a block under your sacrum. And we'll be here for 8 breaths. So on your inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, stay. If you're in an active pose, press down through your big toes. Press your hips up, up, up. And then move the chin a little further away from the collarbones, space in the throat. If you're in bridge, you might interlace your fingers underneath you, puffing up the chest even more. More than halfway through this hold. Keep breathing expansively, spaciously. And then gently release. Lowering the hips down. And we'll meet in happy baby pose. Draw the knees in, reach for the outer edges of your feet or your shins and rock side to side. Deep belly breaths. And then from here, make your way into Shavasana, final resting pose. Extending your arms and your legs long, taking any support you might need, pillow under your head. Take what you need so you can allow your body to settle into stillness. And let the mind take rest and the body take rest. If you have the time today, I encourage you to stay in Shavasana as long as feels right. Otherwise, we'll begin our exit, close class together. Allow your next breath to deepen. Slowly wiggle your fingers, then your toes. You might reach the arms overhead like a good morning wake-up stretch. And sweetly draw the knees into your chest, one and then the other. And roll onto one side. No sense of rush. As you return to a comfortable seat, bringing your spine tall, eyes closed or soft gaze, palms to prayer at your heart. And like a bookend, at the end of our practice, you check in as well with anything you're feeling in your physical body, the mood of your mind, noting any shifts, big or small, after your practice. Bow your chin to your chest in gratitude to this ancient practice, to yourself for making the time and the effort today. Breathing in deep, deep peace. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy with me.